From Mumbai tonight, I have Keith Vaz, who's chairman of the House Affairs Committee of the British House of Commons and a senior British member of Parliament of the Labour Party. Mr. Vaz, thank you for joining us. Big announcement from your government. Also with us tonight is Professor Dr. Ashish Nandy. Thank you very much for joining us from Delhi. Ami Yagnik, spokesperson of the Gujarat Congress. Thank you for joining the debate. Smriti Irani, member of Parliament in the Rajya Sabha. Now, she's not acknowledging it, but she's had a critical role in the back end of this, I'm told. Meghnad Desai, Lord Meghnad Desai on the News Hour tonight. Thank you very much.
Yeah. No.
Lord Desai, does this indicate that the world is warming up to Narendra Modi, or will it be an overstatement to say that?
I think it's the beginning of the normalization of Narendra Modi. It is not the full thing yet, but once you begin with investments and trade and so on, the next step will be something in that direction. But remember, the entire EU has imposed a ban on him from traveling. So UK will have to convince EU to be able to lift the ban. But I think there are movements afoot that within a year or so he will be able to travel, at least to UK.
Professor Ashish Nandy, would you agree with the BJP assessment that it is no longer going to be possible to make Narendra Modi some kind of a diplomatic pariah?
Yeah. Well, let us see. I doubt whether British government's motivations are entirely geared around, organized around Gujarat. They are also thinking of the Gujarati voters in the electoral lists of England and Britain, and that matters. That matters. I don't think any British government can ultimately avoid contacting the leader of Gujarat, any leader of Gujarat, for a very long time.
They have done so for a long time, haven't they? They have done so for a long time. They even conducted an internal inquiry after the Gujarat riots in February 2002, Professor Nandy. For a nation that took such a strong posture against the riots, now they are extending a very warm handshake to Narendra Modi. That was the context of my question. Do you believe Narendra Modi's days as some kind of a diplomatic pariah which helps those who are positioned against him, that those days are coming to an end?
No, I disagree with Meghnad on that score, even though he is part of British Parliament. I do believe that diplomatic paths are being kept open. They are opening up, but that does not mean that they have changed their opinion or judgment about Mr. Narendra Modi. That can happen only if the courts acquit him, or the cases on Gujarat.
Then why is a statement being released by the British Foreign and Commonwealth Office in London? Why are they making this announcement at all? And it's coming from London, not even from some lower functionary of the British High Commission in Delhi.
No, that is true. I don't deny that. But the fact of the matter is this: the Gujarati population in Britain is a significant part and an influential part of the British electorate. Their presence matters, their opinions matters, their preferences matter.
So you're saying this is not letting go of the shadow of the 2002 riots. Clear position tonight. Smriti Irani, you heard Professor Ashish Nandy there. This is not letting go of 2002. This is not even partially letting go of that. That's his argument.
I think it's nice of Professor Nandy to acknowledge on your channel tonight that Gujaratis matter not only in India but also in the United Kingdom. But what needs to be corrected in his statement is that the entire Indian diaspora was impressing upon the British government to strengthen ties with the state of Gujarat. Today, as a Member of Parliament representing the state of Gujarat, I welcome this news, and I see a very festive atmosphere amongst Gujaratis who have received this news very warmly. I think that this is also a recognition of the development work done by the government of Gujarat, and also significantly a reflection of the growing popularity of the Chief Minister not only in India but also internationally.
No, but that's not how Professor Nandy is simply saying today. This has got to do with business interests.
Professor Nandy,
business interests and local politics.
Professor Nandy is welcome. is welcome to his own opinion. I think what we are discussing tonight is the opinion of the British government about the state government of Gujarat. What is also significant that be it the Conservatives in England, be it the Labour Party in England, or be it the Lib Dems in England, all these political parties have together in a consensus welcomed this move.
Ami Yagnik, what about the Congress Party?
I don't
Sorry,
know why after 65 years after independence.
Yes, Professor Nandi, yes.
As I was saying, that it is sad that BJP is known as an ultra-nationalist party, but after 65 years after independence, they are so pathetically hankering for recognition from British government.
May I or no?
Yep.
As if that is all. The whole of Europe has not lifted it.
May I interject?
Yep.
Can I come in?
I don't know what Professor Nandi would have to say about the Ministry of External Affairs, which has also welcomed this move. I think that when you look at it from the Indian context, today the Chief Minister in his speech at Pavagadh, Gujarat, said that every nation projects one of its most developed states or cities to attract foreign investment. It is extremely disheartening that in India's case, an exception is made by the Indian government and Gujarat's achievements are not highlighted to attract foreign investments. Now that being said, I would like to tell Professor Nandi on your channel tonight that nobody reached out and literally begged for the UK government to give this kind of a appreciating move towards the state of Gujarat. It is on their own that they put forth this press statement, which was welcomed by the people of India and especially by the people of Gujarat. So for him to say that the BJP or the government of Gujarat was pandering for the affection of the British government.
No, his comment is in the context of your... No, 1 minute. His comment is in the context of what you said, Smriti Irani. You said that all the political parties in the UK have welcomed this move. To which Professor Ashish Nandi said it's unfortunate that the BJP is hankering after approval of British political parties or the British political system.
That is exactly what I'm saying, Arnab. Nobody is hankering after their appreciation, but I think that Professor Nandi would recognize my right to appreciate a comment which is made in a positive, with a positive attitude towards the government that I represent in Parliament today.
My next question is to, I'll open this up, Professor Nandi, 1 second, 1 minute. My question now is to the Congress Party. Keith Vaz, please don't think I'm impolite. I'm coming to you right after this. Ami Yagnik, how many red faces in the Congress today? Because I remember when the US recently announced there was no change in its policy towards Narendra Modi, your esteemed leader and Union Law Minister said, Mr. Salman Khurshid, and I'm going to quote him now, it is a matter of concern to our country that there is a serious kind of question mark on the personality of somebody who leads a major state in India. It is sad that we have that, and I hope that the concerned person will reflect upon this, why the world thinks so poorly of him. In other words, the Congress Party has been gleefully welcoming Modi's isolation all these years. Has some of that glee evaporated tonight?
I think it is not true, because even at that time when the visa was rejected,
is anything I have read not true?
Because we have no, not that, but we have always firmly believed that any chief minister of any state should be given a visa to any country, is an elected chief minister. When the visa was rejected, a request was made to review that decision. So we welcome this decision or the statement by the UK government that okay, they are going to strengthen the ties in Gujarat with the Gujarat government and have a relook or re-engage with the government of Gujarat. But let me tell you that UK has been a constant presence as far as Gujarat is concerned for several decades.
You don't avoid the question. Ami Yagnik, don't avoid the question. My question now, I'll make it more clear.
I'm not avoiding the question.
No, you are avoiding my question. I'll tell you why. My question to you is, Narendra Modi's diplomatic acceptability or non-acceptability was a matter of political encashability for the Congress Party and the UPA. True or false? True or false? You encashed.
We have not said...
What?
No, we haven't. We haven't. We have firmly believed that he should be given a visa. But because of the actions that took place in Gujarat,
but then why does Salman Khurshid ask Narendra Modi to introspect? Why did Salman Khurshid ask Narendra Modi to introspect?
But we believe that it is a matter of introspection and not taking a label from a UK government.
No, you can't have two policies. One policy in Delhi. No, 1 minute. In Delhi in 2005, the UPA protests when Narendra Modi is denied a visa. So-called protest. In 2012, one of the ministers says Narendra Modi should introspect. How can you have two policies?
No, it is a matter of introspection when somebody doesn't give you a visa.
Introspection
it is a diplomatic isolation, sure.
The person not giving the visa or the person not given
a visa?
No,
Delhi, the person who is not given a visa.
No, if it is true that the person not given a visa should introspect, then
what has led?
Why you say in 2005 that the UK should introspect why they didn't give him a visa? In 2012, you say Narendra Modi should introspect why he is not given a visa. What is your position, ma'am?
Not the UK government. Not the UK government. It is the person whose actions have led to this situation. It is
so you are justifying it. So you are justifying it.
That is what. Yes.
You are justifying Narendra Modi not being given a visa.
Not being given a visa, we still say that he should be given a visa because an elected chief minister of any state in the country should be given a visa.
Ami Yagnik,
why is it that he is not given?
Ami Yagnik, you have to have one position.
Yes.
You have to have one position. You can't have two positions.
No, that is...
You can't have two positions. We are not
having two positions. We are not happy that he is not given a visa. We say that we...
Keith Vaz, my neck 1 minute. I think there is a slight contradiction in what you are saying, but I'm going to come to you. This debate is warming up. I'm going to come to you. Meghnad Desai, I see you. You want to come into the debate? I will come to you. My question to Keith Vaz first, before that is, Keith Vaz, why did Narendra Modi not get a visa all these years, and why is Great Britain warming up like this to Narendra Modi right before these very important elections?
I didn't really hear all your question, but let me just say this on the debate so far. I welcome the decision of the British government to engage with Narendra Modi. I represent more Gujaratis in my constituency of Leicester than any other Member of Parliament in the United Kingdom. And I welcome what they're doing. But let's be very clear, there has still, over the last 10 years, been a lot of contact between the Gujarat government and businesses and individuals in the United Kingdom. I myself met Narendra Modi within the last 10 years in the United Kingdom, and he came there and met members of the Gujarati community. But I think the significance of what has been announced today is a recognition that although what happened in 2002 is very important, and there are still outstanding issues concerning British families that need to be pursued, that it is right that the British High Commissioner is going to see one of the most important leaders in India, and it is right that he should be allowed to open a proper and constructive dialogue with the UK. I don't think this is a party political issue. I think this is a sensible decision which will actually allow us to engage with what I regard as being one of the most important governments in India.
What changed in the last 7 years? 7 years back, Jeff Wilson, who was the spokesperson then of the British High Commission, said, we have a working policy to have no contact with the Gujarat government. It is because of our concerns of what has happened in Gujarat. This
of course,
is 2005.
You're right. That was a concern, but 10 years have now passed.
So concern is gone?
The fact is that the concern remains with individual cases, and it's important that we pursue those cases. But at the end of the day, Narendra Modi is the leader of his state. It's a very important
He was leader of the state in 2005 as well?
I have a lot of Gujaratis in my constituency who have a lot of respect for him and will welcome what the government of the United Kingdom has done. Now we need to have a proper discussion and a proper dialogue over all the outstanding issues.
Well, Keith was, while the position here is that no democratically elected chief minister can be boycotted anywhere in the manner that any Narendra Modi has or anyone. Ashish Nandi made a point, and I saw him wanting to come in. Meghnath Desai, before coming to you, I want to go to Ashish Nandi because I see a diametrically opposite position. Ashish Nandi begins by saying it is political interests for which Narendra Modi, because people, I presume like Keith Vaz, have to protect their large Gujarati vote banks as well, that Narendra Modi has to be accommodated. So he has a counterpoint to you. Yes, Professor Nandi, you think what Keith Vaz is saying validates your point?
And not only a large vote bank there of Gujaratis, Mr. Vaz has told the whole story. In fact, I am superfluous in this show. Mr. Vaz has admitted that he has a large Gujarati constituency right in Leicester, and he has also admitted that British business people and British politicians were interested in this whole enterprise. Gujarat is one of the most developed states in India. It is also showing excellent developmental record, and therefore the British were feeling left out.
No, so what is...
You cannot do business in India without getting into Gujarat.
Yes, so no, what is wrong in what he has done today? What is wrong in what the British government has done today? Point out one critical flaw.
No, nothing wrong. No.
You seem to be uneasy, Professor Nandi,
frankly
with what
speaking,
has
if you
happened
ask
today.
me, nothing has been done. No, I am not uneasy. I am just not taking seriously the hoo-ha made about it amongst the supporters of Narendra Modi, as if it is a great achievement, as if it is something like turning a new page in the history of Gujarat. And that sounds to me slightly silly.
No, but I think you are not being even on both sides. I'm sorry, Professor Nandi, I don't want to cross swords with you, but I will. 1 minute.
Well,
I have great respect for you, but I have tremendous respect for you. But I'm petrified at crossing swords with you, but I will. And I'd cross swords with you tonight, Professor Nandi, is because there were a lot of people. I'm not saying Professor Ashish Nandi. I'm saying there are a lot of people who made a huge, as you described colloquially, shusha when Narendra Modi was imposed a ban by the United States from traveling to the US in 2005. They say, look here. Here is the proof that this man will never be acceptable to the world, and a man who's not acceptable to the world cannot lead India. This is the argument in 2009. Was a shusha not made about that? So why should a shusha not be made about his so-called ban being lifted by the United Kingdom? That's my point to you, sir.
Well, to me...
No, my point was to Professor Nandi.
Professor. Frankly, I was not I was not one of these people.
So those people's position was flawed. You agree with that?
Speaking, America has... Yes, I think America has played footsie with a lot of despotic rulers, a lot of dictators, a lot of bloodthirsty tyrants. I have not much respect for their style of handling this kind of history of violence and genocide and what have you.
Yes.
So in that sense, I was never overly enthusiastic about the American ban, but I am not also overly enthusiastic about the British liberalization of their visa regime, if you might call it so.
No, but here, one simple point is, yes, Lord Meghnath
I take both of them with a pinch of salt.
Lord Desai, yes, please.
I think three things. First of all, we are a poor country. We've had a huge recession. We need the money to trade with Gujarat. It's very simple. Britain has to trade more with Gujarat or with anybody else. This is serious. We are in a dire trouble, so we have to do business. That's first thing. Secondly, whatever people may say, and although this is not the full granting of visa, this is a game changer. Because as far as Indian politics is concerned, Narendra Modi has now become kosher. And people who would previously in the middle who would have avoided him, the middling sort of parties, they will now be willing to go into the NDA as and when 2014 election happens, if Narendra Modi is a leader.
You think so? You actually think Nitish Kumar? You think Nitish Kumar will?
Lastly,
no. You think Nitish Kumar will say that
I am not saying I did not say Nitish Kumar.
You indicated Nitish Kumar.
I am not saying Nitish Kumar.
You indicated Nitish Kumar. Who else has a problem?
What I'm saying. I did not indicate Nitish Kumar.
Are you saying that?
Why don't you listen to me, Arnab? Arnab, why don't you listen to me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. When 2014 elections happened, if BJP has, say, about 180 seats, it would have been impossible previously to have Narendra Modi as a leader. Now I think a number of smaller parties will be willing to get on with NDA because they also, now he has been made respectable, we're not going to hold out. Let me say one more thing.
Isn't it strange?
10 years have passed, 10 years have passed, and nobody has yet convicted Narendra Modi of any crime.
Isn't it?
It may yet happen.
Isn't it?
The 1984 Sikh riots, Congress walas are still running around free. So who knows when Narendra Modi will actually be convicted.
This is a.
But for 10 years, no court has convicted Narendra Modi so far.
Sir, do we need that realization to come from London?
Why are we waiting?
No, do we need that realization to come from London?
Of course.
I mean, do we need Mr. Swaya and Mr. Jeff Wilson to decide who the Prime Minister of India is going to be? At the best, Britain has been farcical. At the worst, at the worst, this is the diplomacy of convenience.
Sorry,
this is diplomacy of convenience.
Don't be a slave. That's not what they've decided. Don't be a colonial. That's not what they've decided. They have just decided that they are willing to deal with him. The conclusion will be drawn by Indians, not by the British. That he is more respectable.
Sir, I am very sorry that today I am being forced to cross swords with two people who I respect both for the academic, their intellect and their honesty, but I will do that with you as well, Professor.
Well, you always cross swords.
No, I don't always do that with you. No, I don't. But my question
to you... We love you because you cross swords.
No, sir.
He enjoys that.
So I'm asking you tonight. I want Lord Meghnad Desai, member of the British House of Lords, to accept that the United Kingdom government indulged in the diplomacy of convenience, because neither were there reasons for the ban. The reasons for the ban were flawed. The reasons for lifting the ban have been flawed. Circumstances have not changed between 2005 and 2007.
I did not say, hang on, Arnab, I did not say the reasons for ban were flawed. I did not say that.
No, but
the ban has stood for 10 years. Within those listen to me. Well, ban has stood for 10 years. Within those 10 years, no Indian court has so far convicted Narendra Modi of any wrongdoing.
Did the British government say in 2005 that we will review this in 2012? Unless any
Why should they say that they reserve the right to review it any time? They reserve the right to review it any time. There is a sovereign government.
Okay.
A sovereign government can review its stand any time. They don't need anybody's permission.
Ami Yagnik, clearly tonight...
Why can't they review it? Why can't they review it 7 years after? Are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to tell me that 7 years can go by and they are not to review anything because nothing has happened for 7 years?
Obviously, the British government can do what it wants. It can do what it wants, but there there's no logic.
Exactly. Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining?
I'm not. I'm just looking for diplomatic consistency, which I'm not finding. There is
Why? Which country is diplomatically consistent? Which country is diplomatically consistent? India deals with Syria, which is a murderous country, with Iran, which is a murderous country, and nobody criticizes India for that. And suddenly the UK government changes and diplomatic inconsistency. Diplomacy is always inconsistent.
Sure.
It's in national interest. If national interest changes, you change your diplomatic stance.
Well,
Come on.
Well, interesting.
This is the real world. This is the real world, Arnab.
Yes, and in this real world, when Modi visits Japan and China, not to be left out, the United Kingdom changes its policy.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We want to be in there.
Exactly. So Ami Yagnik today.
We need the money.
So Ami Yagnik, the argument of Lord Meghnad Desai is money talks. He's also saying that, and
absolutely,
Professor Ashish Nandi, money and influence talk, and today Narendra Modi cannot be avoided for either reason. So you're going to have to change your strategy clearly. Narendra Modi is going to come to you and say that even The people in London have stopped being biased for Gujarat, but the Congress leaders of Gujarat still have the same old position. What will you say to them?
These are two different issues. One is an external issue, one is an internal issue. No. Acceptability by the UK government to give him a visa or open some kind of a diplomatic path for him is very different, because we have never said that he should not be given a visa. We have always believed that a chief minister who is elected should be given a visa. But internal acceptability is a very different issue. Amongst his own allies, there is a difference. There is a non-acceptability among his own allies.
What are you saying?
So this is an internal issue.
Sonia Gandhi came to Gujarat, did she mention 2002? When Sonia Gandhi came to Gujarat, did she mention 2002? Even once?
She pointed out the development issues and said that the development accountability has to be shown to the people of the country.
So has Sonia Gandhi and the Congress party also moved on from 2002?
There is no development as has been told.
No, so 1 minute, Ami Agni, please give me a direct reply.
2002 is going on in the courts. Several matters are pending.
2002 was going on in courts.
Have reached finality and conviction.
2002 was going on in courts when Sonia Gandhi talked about Maut Ka Saudagar in 2007. Was it not going on in courts?
But you...
No, give me a steady answer.
It's still going on in courts, but because Mr. Modi is talking only of development, sidelining all the other
Congress
issues
party
in the state,
allows the script of the Gujarat election to be dictated by Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi decides the issues and the Congress party structures itself accordingly.
But you cannot have falsity thrown to the people of the state and the country all the time.
No.
So we are asking about the development that has taken place in the state. And what is wrong in asking all these issues?
No, because you see, if you consistently stay true to an issue, either then if you change your position, then you're not being true to the people who pinned their hopes on you when you were picking up the issue of 2002.
We have not picked up the issue of 2002. We have only asked him that whatever
you picked it up in 2007, you dropped it in 2012.
Where is development?
You picked it up in 2007, you dropped it in 2012.
The matters are going on in court. The matters are going on in
British
court.
Government,
and there have been convictions.
So the matters, I don't understand. You see, I am being fairly direct today. Matters were going on in court in 2005 when the British government imposed this ban. In 2007 when Sonia Gandhi spoke about Maut Ka Saudagar. Today Sonia Gandhi does not talk about it. British government changes its position. 1 sec. Let's get Smriti Irani back to the debate. I see certain inconsistencies
when the visa was denied.
No, but I'm seeing inconsistencies in this. I'm seeing some inconsistencies in the line of argument.
Very clear. It is not an issue. It is not an issue at all whether UK opens the diplomatic pathway for him or not.
No, we are talking about 2012.
It is very clear. It is very clear.
Consistency?
No, I don't want consistency, sir. I'm just looking back at the past to explain the present and looking at the present to understand the past.
Philosophy. This is real life.
Thank you. Lord Desai.
Smriti
Irani. My feet are firmly rooted on the present. Smriti Irani, tonight, I want you to respond to the debate you've heard so far and also specifically the points made by the Gujarat Congress leader.
Normally when debates on Times Now engage the topic of Gujarat or Narendra Modi, I'm normally at the end of many pot shots that come from your panel. Tonight it was interesting that for the past a good 15 minutes I've been reduced to a mute spectator, which is a feeling that I welcome. I also welcome this newfound respect Ms. Yagnik has for the democratically elected Chief Minister of Gujarat, Narendra Modi. I think that today the entire nation would agree with me that Narendra Modi, on the basis of the development work that he did in the state, has managed to gain the respect not only of governments within the country. For instance, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, who is a congressman, complimented Narendra Modi.
No.
The Chief Minister of Delhi, Srira Dixit, complimented Narendra Modi.
Are you being over celebratory in your approach? Because I'll tell you what.
Let me finish.
Because you're being over. You're hyping it.
But let me finish.
But you're hyping it. Let me quote from the press release. The press release says...
I'm not hyping it.
Smriti...
Let me finish.
Smriti, you were silent when you agreed with people. But just give me 1 minute to counter question you on one thing. Look at the press release. I'm silent
because nobody questioned me.
I'm questioning you now. Allow me. 1 second. Have you seen the press release? Have you seen the press release? The press release says, and I quote, we also want to provide the best possible support for British nationals who live in, work in or visit Gujarat. This, Smriti Irani, is talking about a pragmatic decision, keeping business interests in mind, is not a clean sheet for the Modi government. Besides, the American visa remains a major Achilles heel. As recently as April this year, America reiterated he won't be eligible for an American visa. So, hold back the celebrations a bit, Smriti.
May I now finish?
Yes.
Okay. Let me say firstly that the Chief Minister of Gujarat and the Bharatiya Janata Party are completely aware of the fact that we are democratically elected into the Assembly and into the Parliament of India by the citizens of India, by the citizens of Gujarat. Hence, our primary concern is the concerns of the citizens of India and the citizens of Gujarat. That being said, if there is a government which moves very positively towards Gujarat, wants to engage in better business development, what?
No, I'm not asking. I just find it difficult to accept.
Are you telling me?
I'm saying tonight that your entire line of argument has changed. Your entire positioning has changed.
It's not changed. It's been extremely consistent.
No, I'll tell you why you've been inconsistent.
It was consistent in the past and in the it's been absolutely consistent.
No, you haven't, and I'll tell you why.
Time and again,
I'll tell you why.
Mr. Modi has time and again said that what matters to him are the 6 crores Gujaratis who reside in Gujarat.
Exactly.
So
that's why you are being inconsistent tonight. Because Narendra Modi has till date said, I bother about the 6 crore people of Gujarat. I don't care about what foreign governments say about me. But today, by the very nature of your response, you seem to be seeking that approval.
I am not seeking any approval.
Not seeking.
This is a press release by the government of United Kingdom, which I did not seek, which they released on their own.
But
are you telling me I'm not to acknowledge it just because?
But to which Narendra Modi responded? To which Narendra Modi responded to that in the public speech today, didn't he?
So are you telling me that he should not be gracious enough to acknowledge it?
Isn't it acknowledgement that it matters to him?
He acknowledges any compliment that he gets, nationally or internationally. Are you telling me it's not within his constitutional rights to acknowledge a compliment?
No, I'm saying tonight that if you bother about
Tonight a gentleman on your panel said if you want to do business in India, then you cannot ignore Gujarat. That's a compliment.
So it's not a clean sheet. No, 1 second. It's obviously it's a compliment depend. But then my question to you tonight is simply this, Smriti, give me a straight answer. If you start bothering about what Mr. Swire and Mr. Jeff Wilson of the British High Commission say, then why don't you also bother about what US government spokesperson Victoria Nuland said in April this year? She said if we rest on the visa issue.
Elected by the people of India, not by the British people and not by the people residing in the United States
so
of America.
Why does Mr. Modi seem to care more now?
Is it because if somebody wants if somebody wants to diss me in public, I ignore it. If somebody wants to compliment me or acknowledge me, then I say
no, but you're not ignoring it.
That's the least that one can do.
No,
that's the least that you can do. But let me reinforce the fact.
No, but you are ignoring it so far. You're not ignoring it now, which means you're seeking acknowledgement. You want you are aiming for the top job in Delhi.
Not at all. We did not. Or not, this is something that the United Kingdom did on its own.
Yeah,
are you telling me that I'm not to appreciate
No,
it?
but you are responding. You see, you are responding.
If a government...
There is a sense of satisfaction.
Business relationships.
There is a sense of satisfaction.
The United Kingdom wants to strengthen relationship with Gujarat. Am I not to welcome it?
No, certain, but there's a sense of satisfaction.
Am I not to thank Ms. Yasmin?
There is a sense of vindication.
That she gives the Chief Minister of Gujarat.
No, but you don't need vindication from London, I thought.
Tonight.
Obviously,
you didn't need vindication from London, Smriti.
Any Chief Minister.
You know what? Arnab.
1 minute. Ami is saying something. Ami.
The Chief Minister.
Ami is saying something. I want Ami.
Narendra Modi stands vindicated every time he wins.
Yeah, so exactly. Since when did Narendra Modi need vindication from London? That's my question. 1 second, please. Ami, yes.
He does not.
Ami is saying something.
Yes,
Professor Desai, I am coming.
But he appreciates it or acknowledge it.
You're the Congress.
I only said that we believe very strongly that any chief minister should be given a visa to any country. But the issue here is very small, that a country wants to re-engage in with the government of Gujarat on whatever trade or investment. But the issue here is acceptability at the national level within the own country. You can't mix up these two issues. Now these are diplomat relations, international relations, and they are very different. It cannot be between one country and a state in one country. It is between country to country.
You want national acceptability? Then I would like to highlight here. You want national acceptability? Then I would like to highlight here that
it is your allies. Your allies are creating problem for you.
Time and again through popular polls said that Narendra Modi is the most popular chief minister in the country. That is the India Today, not the Bharatiya Janata Party. So when you talk about national,
but that doesn't mean that every issue you turn into a pathway to the center
on another platform. What? You don't decide who goes to the center, Ami. It's the people of Gujarat and the people of India.
No, I am not deciding.
They choose.
I am not deciding, madam.
The center or a BJP which has proved itself in governance.
Yes, Lord Meghnad Desai.
You cannot make these kind of allegations.
No, it's an interesting situation. I'm happy all sides are coming out tonight.
You are accusing.
You will see the Colgate scam. You will see the 2G scam. You will see the CWG scam. I'm not.
Let us restrict ourselves to the issue of today. You are not acceptable by your own allies. You are not allowed to campaign in UP. You are not allowed to.
Who are you to decide? Who are you to decide? What am I allowed to speak on this?
We are not deciding. Your own allies are deciding that. We are not deciding.
Ami, I think the day that Sharad Pawar, the day Ajit Singh, the day Mayawati, Mulayam Singh criticized the Congress government
1 minute left.
Support in the center for capping the LPG.
Let's not go astray from the topic.
Okay, 1 minute. Yes, Lord Meghnad Desai.
Yes.
Lord Meghnad Desai wanted to come in, ladies.
Arnab,
yeah.
Arnab, you accuse Smriti Irani and people of seeking vindication from the British approval. But you have sought vindication from Victoria Newland's argument that Modi should not be given visa. Each side takes the foreigner support for bolstering their belief. I think nothing has happened which has exonerated Narendra Modi about the possible legal proceedings against him if they come.
1 minute, Smriti,
what we are discussing is, after several years, the British government has decided they are going to relax their ban on Narendra Modi as far as relations concerned.
Yes, and we are asking
and the
why
visa ban may yet go. I think why the case for Narendra Modi's legal obligations are neither decided by US or by UK or by anybody else. They're decided by Indian courts.
Yeah, but
so they will continue.
But the British government has to answer then what is its own position. You know, if there was no sincerity in the first place, then the British government needs to come out and say we were insincere earlier. We used the ban as a system of political and business convenience. And when the political and business circumstances change, we change it.
Time passes. Listen to me. As time passes, circumstances change. For 10 years, no Indian court has yet convicted Narendra Modi.
Sure, but then I think it is good if that is included in the press statement of the British government.
Can the British government?
No, but British government.
Can the British government say that we are suspending? We can't judge about his culpability, but we can open trade with him.
Tomorrow, if India decides,
that's all they have done.
If tomorrow, if India decides that a British politician is to be banned, we'd be asked for a reason why we have the ban and lift the ban. That's all we are asking the British. 1 second. I have actually run out of time, but Smriti Irani wanted to come in on something. Yes, Smriti Irani, very briefly, you wanted to say something to Meghnad Desai. 1 minute, please. Yes.
I think since everybody talks about exoneration, let me say this, that the Chief Minister neither needs a certificate from the Congress party nor from any other foreign government as to how to run his own state. I think he kept his promise of development to the people of Gujarat who democratically elected him.
He needs it from law courts.
I think at the end of the day,
he needs exoneration from law courts.
Lord Desai, yes, law courts have not filed a single case against him because there is not a shred of evidence against him. Let me say this, at the end of the day, Arnab, we welcome this move.
The British government is responding to the slow pace of the Indian judiciary.
Yes, Professor
Lord
Desai.
Desai, I very honestly cannot comment on the British government. You are better suited to do that.
Well, the 1984 case has not been decided
Let
yet.
me only say this, Lord Desai.
No, listen to Ashish Nandi. She's making a point to you. One sec, Smriti. Smriti, in 1 minute, please. Professor Nandi, please. Yes, what were you saying to Smriti?
No, I was merely saying that Mr. Modi should have been gracious enough to thank the Indian judiciary for his plain-paced style of functioning.
On that note tonight, with the question going out openly,
I'm not finished yet.
Does the British government's changed policy indicate the beginning of the end of Narendra Modi's diplomatic exclusion? Smriti Irani, tonight there are many questions I have for you, but then you'll say...
May I just finish?
Yes, please. I'm so short of time, but 30 seconds to you tonight.
Let me say at the end of the day,
yes,
we welcome this move
yes,
because it means better investment opportunities for Gujarati businessmen.
Yes.
It means more employment opportunities not only for Gujarati.
And you are not seeking vindication, you say.
India, because the government
and you are also...
that out of 100 jobs given in India, 72 come because of...
And you are also not seeking vindication. To Smriti Irani, Ami Yagnik, Professor Nandi and Lord Desai, thank you very much for joining me on that chat.